Spreading the feet wide, maybe taking the arms alongside you on the mat or resting the hands onto the body. Making any last adjustments to the shape and then finding your stillness, your Kaya Steryam. As you start to find your stillness of body, taking your attention to your breath and just noticing how you're breathing this evening. We breathe all day and all night, and yet sometimes we're unaware of even one breath. So right now, this evening, be aware of every single breath. For the moment, don't interfere with the natural rhythm of your breath. Just simply witness each respiration, each inhale and exhale. Become increasingly conscious of your breath as it moves in and out of the body, and let your body and yourself relax into the continual smooth ebb and flow of your breath. Taking your attention just a little closer to your breath now, and just observe how it is flowing this evening. Is your breath fast or slow? Is it shallow or deep? Are there any gaps between the breaths, or any pauses at the top or bottom of your breath? Still not trying to control it or change it right now, just observing as a silent witness and making a mental note of how we're breathing. Keep your awareness on each and every inhalation and exhalation without missing a single breath. And for the next few moments, maybe taking a silent mantra that you'll repeat in your head or in your heart. I am aware that I'm breathing in. I am aware that I am breathing out. And then we'll let go of that little mantra. Just come back to your attention on your breath and your body. And before we start to move our body in any way, we're going to come to our breath and control that breath for a few moments with our pranayama practice. So we'll practice our 3-part breath, our yogic breath here in Shavasana this evening. The hands can remain on the mat alongside you, or bringing the hands to rest onto the belly, stacking the hands one on top of the other, or one hand underneath the rib cage, one hand underneath the belly button. And then we'll exhale to empty our lungs. Inhale, breathing into the belly and filling it up. Exhale, relax the belly back towards the mat. Inhale, breathe into the belly again. And exhale, relax the belly back towards the mat. Moving your hands onto your ribs now, breathing into the belly and up into the ribs. Exhale, relax the ribs, relax the belly. One more like that, breathing into the belly and up into the ribs, feel the ribs expand. Exhale, relax your ribs, relax the belly. Lastly, bringing the fingertips to your collarbones or shoulders, breathing into the belly, into the ribs and all the way up into the chest. Exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the ribs, relax the belly. One more together, breathing into the belly, the ribs and all the way up into the chest. Exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the ribs, relax the belly. And letting the hands come gently down alongside you or to rest onto the body. And just continuing that 3-part breath, that wave-like motion for a few more rounds at your own pace. And then whenever you come to the end of your next exhale, just letting go of the control of your breath. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Come back to stillness in your body and breath just for these last few moments. And then slowly beginning to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your wrists and ankles, turn the head left and right. Bring the feet together at the end of the mat, and with an inhale, draw the arms up overhead, stretching from fingers to toes. Exhale, relax and release. Allow the arms to come back down alongside the body. Begin to draw your knees in towards the chest. Give a little hug, squeeze, or gentle roll on the lower back. And whenever you're ready, rolling to the right side, take a little pause there. Bring your left hand to the mat in front of your face, extend through the left leg and push up to come up to find a comfortable seat. Using any of your props to be underneath the body, the rolled up blanket, a block, a bolster. Legs can be crossed, extended, or on your knees. And whenever you're comfortable in your seat, take your hands to Anjali Mudra, connecting your thumbs in against your breastbone, which is just in front of your heart space. Press the thumbs equally together, the fingertips, the heels of the hands. Bring the sides of the fingers together as well, creating a nice strong mudra here, hands to heart. Closing down the eyes or having a soft gaze down towards our heart. We'll open this evening's class by chanting Om. We'll do 3 Oms together to open the space and open our practice. Of course, you're always welcome just to listen, but if you'd like to join me, we're taking our inhale. 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 Letting those vibrations settle in our bodies. And then gently bowing our head towards our hands, blinking open the eyes. Namaste. Welcome this evening. Thank you for joining me. We are focusing on a little theme of our future self this evening in our practice. So thinking about the journey forward towards that future self, thinking about your journey on the yoga mat, or maybe just in your practice. And yeah, just I suppose our practice itself this evening, we're going to add in a few little challenges, maybe challenging ourselves to move towards that future self and progressing our practice forward. But also our meditation at the end, we're going to be maybe meeting our future self in our meditation at the end. So that theme flowing through our practice this evening. But equally, if you have a theme or an intention for your own practice, you're welcome to also bring that to the forefront. All right, let's get the music back on. And we will take off any layers that we want, and we'll get ourselves moving. All right. Moving any props out of the way. And let's start with our warm-up. Take our inhale, take our arms overhead, stretching through the fingers. Exhale, release your right hand down to the mat, stretching into the left side of the body. Draw your elbow and your shoulder slightly back, looking up to the sky. Press your sit bone down and lengthen through to the fingertips. Breathing into the side of the body, the space between the ribs, the space from the ribs to the hip. Inhale as we come back through center. Exhale as you take your left hand down and breathe into the right side. Again, draw the shoulder and elbow back. Press the sit bone down and lengthen all the way along the side of the body, all the way to the fingertips. Breathe into the side of the body. Nice and slow with the breath. Inhale as we come back up through center. This time as we exhale, right hand behind your right hip, left hand to the right knee, looking over your right shoulder. Relax the shoulders if they've slightly raised as you twisted. Take an inhale, growing tall through your spine. Exhale, maybe a little deeper with that twist. Remember to look as far over your shoulder with your head and your eyes. Inhale as we come back through center. Exhale to twist to the left. Relax the shoulders once more. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale that little deeper into the twist. Inhale as we come back through center. Stretch through the fingers for the last time. And exhale, release the hands all the way down. Take our fingertips to our shoulders and start to draw our circles on the outside walls with our elbows. Circling around, taking them nice and slow, maybe making the circles bigger as we go. Just trying to feel like we're getting movement in that whole shoulder area. When we get to the top the next time, let's reverse our circles. Take the shoulders down away from the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe thinking about opening through the chest as well as you take the elbows back. Lovely. And when we get to the top the next time, let's release the hands all the way down. We'll start to make our way to tabletop. I'm going to take off another layer as we move. Starting to feel warm again. When you've done a little Pilates bit beforehand, I'm starting to cool down, so that's why I kept the jumper on for a little longer. But we're feeling the warmth again. Okay, as we come to our tabletop, let's take our positioning. Bring the knees in underneath the hips. Bring the wrist under the elbow, under the shoulder. Hands are as wide as your shoulders. Knees are as wide as your hips. So hands should be nearly towards the edges of your mat. Knees a little narrower. Let's take a moment to scan down through the body. So pressing the chest away from the mat. Extending the arms nice and long, pressing into the heel of the hand and the fingertips and locking those elbows out. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears, lengthen through the back of the neck, lengthen out through the crown of the head as well. And then thinking about continuing that energy all the way along the spine, pressing the spine towards the sky, all the way to your pelvis. Take a moment to tilt the pelvis forward and back. Notice that we're engaging the belly as we tilt the pelvis slightly backwards. Draw the ribs down towards the hips and press your belly button up towards your spine. The glutes are relaxed. The inner thighs are slightly activated to draw towards each other like two magnets. The front of the foot can be on the mat or the toes, whichever feels better. And then in this nice energetic tabletop, we're going to move into our cat-cows. So inhale, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, open through the chest, drop the belly. Exhale, round through the spine, pelvis to your head, and press the spine nice and high. You can have the eyes open or closed as we inhale, lift our chin, lift our tailbone, open through the chest. Exhale, round through the spine, coming back into cat. We've got 2 more sets. Inhale, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine. Last time, inhale, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. Exhale, round through the spine. Come back to a neutral tabletop. Walk your hands 1 step forward on your mat and just start to round your body weight over your wrists, back towards your heels, making 1 big circle on your mat. Maybe taking a moment just to focus on drawing your body weight into those four corners of your mat, really pressing into the joints as we take our body weight into those little angles. And keeping the fingers nice and widespread, protect your wrists. When you get to the top the next time, reverse your circle, maybe taking the toes onto the mat. Maybe we bend the arms, bend the elbows a little bit to drop the body a little closer to the mat. Maybe we can take our weight a little bit more over our wrists just to warm them up a little bit more, and pressing our body weight back towards our heels as we circle back. Okay, when we get to the top the next time, let's start to untuck the toes, bring the toes together, the knees as wide as the mat, and bring our body weight back towards our heels, coming into child's pose. Let your body weight press back towards the sit bone, or the sit bones towards the heels rather, reach the fingers towards the front of the mat. Let your forehead come down towards the mat, your chest towards the mat. Maybe a little sway of the hips and the pelvis so that the belly can sink a little closer to the mat as well. The palms can stay facing flat on the mat, or turning the hands and arms onto the pinky edge of your arms and hands. Maybe interlacing the fingers at the top of the mat and reaching forward with the hands so that we can just feel a bit more separation between the shoulder blades. That might feel good for your body, and if not, just take the hands back to lying flat on the mat. Last couple of breaths here, remembering that child's pose is always an option instead of a downward dog or instead of any other asana as we move through our practice this evening. And you can come back to this version, or you can come to a more relaxed version as you wish. Slowly beginning to lift the head, walking the hands back underneath our shoulders. We're spreading the fingers nice and wide, bring the knees in underneath the hips. And then we'll take our toes onto the mat, bring our body weight back towards our heels and lift our hips up to come up into our first downward dog. Keep the knees bent and just pedal through the heels. Getting a little bit of movement in the back of the legs and into the feet. Pedaling with a bit of speed or slowing it right down, and press the heel down to the mat. Feel a nice stretch into the foot, into the back of the leg, maybe all the way along to the hamstrings. And then bringing the feet to stillness, slowly lift your head, look between the hands and walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Take the feet as wide as the mat and let the body hang down over bent knees into ragdoll. Hands can come down towards the mat, bending the knees, and let the body just hang down on top of the legs if that feels good for you. Or you could always take the hands to the shins or ankles, or taking one hand to each elbow. Hanging in stillness or adding a little sway left and right. If you're swaying, maybe taking the front elbow just slightly more towards the front of the mat to feel a little stretch into the side of the body. Again, if that feels good, just an option. And then bringing yourself back to the center, bringing you back to stillness. Release the hands from wherever they were. Take them to the hips, bend into the knees, and slowly come up to standing. Take a moment if you're feeling a little dizzy before you start to walk your feet into the center of the mat. And we'll take our toes closer together, our heels slightly apart, and then we'll just take our weight forward and back into toes and heels, just to start to find our equal distribution of our weight across the front and back of the foot. Maybe a little sway left and right as well, just to notice that we are feeling nice and equally grounded across both feet. Okay, coming back to a nice grounded position in the center, feeling the feet rooted against the earth, and then we'll start to move our attention up our body. So activating through the legs, coming up to the thighs especially, activating there to draw our kneecaps up. Coming to our bandhas, our Uddiyana and Mula Bandha. So we're activating and drawing our pelvic floor upwards, drawing our core muscles just below our belly button back and down. So we create that bandha seal at our core. Rolling through the shoulders, bring the shoulder blades down our back. Arms and hands are down by our sides, fingers and hands are energized and active. The chin can remain parallel to the floor, or maybe slightly tucking the chin towards the chest, activating our chin lock. So we have created a seal at top and bottom of our torso where we can maintain our heat and energy as we move through our practice this evening. Eyes can be open or closed for these last few breaths here. And as we stand still in Tadasana, noticing the activity in our body, telling us that we are present here on our mat tonight. The activity in our muscles, the energy building in our body, our heart beating, our breath flowing. Or maybe you take this little moment of pause just to think about that future self that we mentioned earlier, that path to your future self that we are on this evening. And we'll start our practice as we usually do with 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. The sun is still up this evening, so we'll still salute him. We'll do our first round as a modified version, and then moving into the full round on round 2. The third round will be dealer's choice, whichever version you prefer. So if the eyes are still closed, just gently blinking them open. And then we'll inhale, take the arms overhead, keeping them parallel, looking straight ahead. Exhale, folding forward, hands towards the mat. Inhale, halfway, left hands to the shins, flat back, lengthen out through the crown of the head. Exhale, drop the hands to the mat, step the feet back, right and left. Lower down onto the knees, the chest and the chin, keep your hips high. Inhale, sweep the chest forward for Cobra, draw your elbows in next to your ribs. And exhale, push back through tabletop and up into your downward dog. 5 smooth breaths in your downward dog, keeping the knees bent. Not rushing to get the heels down, but thinking about pressing your sit bones nice and high, pressing into the heels of the hands and the fingertips to lengthen that top body. We're looking down between our feet or between our knees, so nice and long through the back of the neck. Lovely. Slowly lifting our head, looking between our hands, walking the feet towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, flat back. Exhale, folding forward, bending the knees if we need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead to parallel, looking straight ahead. Exhale, back to Samastiti. Okay, round 2, moving into the full version, or you can stick with that modified version if you prefer. Inhale, take the arms overhead to prayer this time, looking at your thumbs. Exhale, folding forward, hands towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers to the mat or to your shins, flat back. Exhale, hands on the mat, step or jump the feet back. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin. Inhale to lift the chest for Cobra or upward dog. And exhale, back to downward dog. 5 more breaths here. Breaths down into the belly. Nice and slow and smooth. Thinking about that alignment again, the knees can be still bent, pressing your hips nice and high, pressing into the fingertips and the heels of the hands, lengthening from the fingers all the way to the sit bones. Slowly lift the head, look between the hands, walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers to the mat or to your shins, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead to prayer or parallel. Exhale, back to Samastiti. Last round, whichever version you prefer. Inhale, take the arms overhead to prayer or parallel. Exhale, folding forward, hands towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers to the mat or to your shins, flat back. Exhale, hands on the mat, step or jump the feet back. Lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin. Inhale to lift the chest for Cobra or upward dog. And exhale, back to your last 5 breaths in downward dog or taking a child's pose if you need it. Maybe in this last round, you close down the eyes. You send that breath down into the belly, nice and slow, feeling the benefits of your downward dog. described as a resting pose, but really the benefit is that our head is lower than our heart, so we're slowing down our heartbeat in this inversion. Slowly lifting your head, looking between the hands, walking the feet towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers to the mat or to your shins, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead to prayer or parallel. Exhale, back to Samastiti. Okay, take a moment in Samastiti. You might like to roll the shoulders. You might like to close down the eyes for a moment. You might like just to connect with your breath or with the energy in the body. I'm just going to face the other way because we're going to use our right leg first and just easier for you guys. Okay, if we have the eyes still closed, just gently blinking them open. So we'll start this evening by stepping our right foot behind, about 2 feet from your left foot. We're keeping both legs hip width apart, so we're not bringing them into one line. They're both staying straight down from our hips. Both feet are facing forward. We're coming to pyramid pose here. The hands can be on the hips, or we can take them behind our back, either taking the elbows, or if you like, you could reach to reverse namaste, if you can find it, if I can find it myself. We take an inhale to open through the chest. And we exhale, hinge forward, maybe a slight bend in your left knee if you need it. Draw your nose towards your knee. A couple of breaths here in pyramid pose. And then lift your chest halfway with an inhale, bringing your chest parallel to the floor. Release the hands, bring the hands down to the mat. And we're stepping that right foot all the way back, coming into lizard lunge. So we're walking the left foot slightly towards the left side of the mat, bringing your hands on the inside of the left foot. With your right knee on the mat and your leg extended behind, we're going to twist to the left side. So inhale, take your left hand to the sky, twisting and maybe taking your gaze upwards. Exhale, draw that hand back down. We're doing that one more time, twisting to the left. Inhale, draw your left hand up to the sky, twisting and taking your gaze up. Exhale, release that hand back down to the mat. And then we're bringing our right toes back onto the mat. Lift through your right knee, maybe bringing your foot down to the mat so we can lift up into warrior one on our left leg. So draw the arms up overhead, make it stay parallel. Lovely, everybody. And then one last little challenge. We're going to bring that right knee towards our chest to come into stork. So stepping forward, knee towards the chest, and then we'll slowly lower that right foot back down. Okay, so we know what we've done on one side, we're going to do the same on the other side. So our left foot is stepping back, finding that pyramid pose with our legs. So legs are still hip width apart, both feet are facing to the front, hips are facing to the front as well. Arms and hands can be at the waist, they can be behind us in holding the elbows or in reverse namaste. It's always a struggle to get it there, especially at this time of the evening. Okay, take an inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge forward, nose towards your knee, maybe a slight bend in your right leg this time. Another inversion that we're practicing this evening. Head lower than the heart, slowing the body down. Take an inhale, lift your chest halfway to bring it parallel to the floor. Release the hands down to frame your right foot. Walk your left leg back, drop your left knee, untuck the left toes. Walk the right foot to the right edge of the mat. And the hands are on the inside of the right foot this time. And then we're twisting to the right. So we're inhaling, drawing the right hand to the sky, twisting and taking our gaze up. Exhale, drop that hand back down. One more time, twisting to the right. Inhale as you draw the hand up. Exhale as you release the hand back down. Bring your left toes and your left toes back onto the mat. Lift your left knee. Bring the left foot onto the mat as we sweep the arms up, back up into warrior one on our right leg this time. Pay attention to the pelvis, just maybe tilting the pelvis slightly more forward so that we engage the belly a little bit more. Draw your ribs towards your hips. Feeling a little different in our back leg when we do that. And then our last little bit is drawing our left knee towards our chest for stork. So as we step forward, we draw that knee up. And then we slowly lower that left leg back down. Okay, well done. A little bit of challenge tonight. Give your body a little shake out, a little roll out of the shoulders if you need it. Okay, we're going to come to our balance work next. We're going to flow through 2 balance postures, one after another, and then we're going to be coming to a twisted forward fold. Twisted, all that means is that the legs are twisted. So I'll walk you through it all. We're going to come to dancer pose this evening. If you want to be off your mat or if you want to be nearer to a wall, you're always welcome to do that. Dancer pose, look, have anyone done it before?
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar, but you're not sure. Okay. This morning the same people hadn't really done it, so it might be a new one. I actually don't know the Sanskrit off the top of my head, but anyway, we're calling it dancer. So our weight is in our left leg. I'm just going to face to the side so that you can see the shape of the body. Weight is in the left leg, slight bend in your left knee. We're reaching for the inside of our right foot. Hand is on the instep of your foot. We draw the right foot up towards the sky, maybe taking your left hand to the sky as well. So we're trying to create a little curve in our body, foot towards the sky, hand towards the sky. That's what dancer looks like. I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so bending into that left leg, take your hand to the instep of the right foot, find your balance, find your breath down into your belly. And you can just use the leg if you want tonight, hinging forward at the hip, bending into that front knee. Maybe the hand comes forward, maybe you lift through the hand, lift through the foot. Keep breathing. And we're going to come to warrior 3 from here, so release your hand from your foot, take your hands in front, reach that heel back, extend through your right leg. And then we're dropping the right foot behind the left foot, coming slightly back up to a standing position. Are you okay? We're lots of wobbles. Take an inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, release the body down over the legs, maybe slightly bending the knees if you need to. Reaching towards the floor, just resting the hands on the legs. And then take an inhale, sweep the arms up in a circle to come all the way back up to prayer above the head. Draw the hands down to the heart and uncross the legs back to Tadasana. Okay, sometimes the wobbly mats probably don't help either, so maybe if you want to try the second side, you want to try it off the mat, that might be more helpful, but just an option if you want to. Okay, so let's try it on the other side as well. So we're bending into our right leg this time. We're reaching for the instep of the left foot and we're lifting the foot towards the sky, hinging at the hips, bending into your knee, maybe taking our right hand to the sky as we lift through the left leg. And then taking your hand from your foot, reaching your hand to the front, extending through the heel now for warrior 3, reaching forward, extending through your heel to the back of the room. And then take your left foot behind your right foot. You okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, slowly drawing yourself back up to standing with your legs crossed. Inhale, take your arms overhead. Exhale, release the body down. Slightly bending the knees if you need to. Reach the floor. But if you bend the knees, just try and keep the feet as flat as you can. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Find your prayer pose above the head. Draw the hands down to heart, and we'll step our left foot back beside our right. And you can stay here with hands at heart, or you can drop the hands all the way down. Okay, a little bit of challenge for us. Well done. You're working, you've got things to work towards. That's what we always like to have. Always like to have those little challenges. Okay, we're going to come back to some of those ones we did at the start. We're going to come back to our lizard lunge, and we're going to move into a pigeon just to start to take ourselves down to the mat. So we will step our right foot behind, come to your warrior 1 again, so you can stay on the toes of the right foot or drop the heel down. If you're dropping the heel, just walk that left foot a little wider so that you can keep the hips facing forward. The arms can come overhead to parallel, drop the shoulders, maybe tilt the pelvis slightly forward and engage the front of the body. Okay, lovely. From here we're finding that lizard lunge, so we're dropping the hands, if you can, to the inside of your left foot. Drop your right knee and extend that right leg behind. Lifting through the chest. We're just staying here as a transition. Last breath here. And And then we'll drop our left knee to the mat. So walk the left foot to the right side of the mat, drop the left knee. And we can stay here in crouch pigeon, lifting through the chest. Or if you'd like, you can come down to forearms, or bringing the forehead all the way down if that feels good for our body tonight. Reach for any props that we need to help our bodies. That's it. Well done, Melissa. Proud pigeon does feel really nice as well though. Make sure you walk that right leg as far back as you can to really open through the pelvis at the front. And then if we have the head lowered, start to slowly lift the head, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, bring the right toes back onto the mat, lift through the right knee, and we're coming back to a downward dog. So just step your left foot back, find your downward dog just for 2 breaths here. And then on your next inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Bring your right knee towards your chin and your chest. Step the right foot forward. And we're finding warrior 1 on our right leg. We okay, Harper? Yeah. 2 classes back to back is a lot. Well done. Warrior 1, tuck your pelvis forward. Engage the belly. And then we're dropping our hands on the inside of our right foot. Drop your left knee. Untuck the left toes. Lizard lunge, 1 more time on the right side. Well done. And then we're bringing the right knee down to the mat. So bring your right foot to the left side of the mat. Drop the knee. Walk the left leg back a little further. And you can stay here in crouch pigeon, or come down, forearms or forward all the way down to the mat. Each time you exhale, you just release the body just a little bit more onto the mat, opening through that right hip, that right knee, that right glute. Slowly lifting the head if we have it lowered, bring the hands back onto the mat underneath their shoulders, and we're untucking that right knee and just letting it come behind us. We're coming all the way down onto our belly, all the way down to lying. Okay, on our front we're reaching our arms long beside our body. Reach the fingers down towards your feet. We're going to come to locust for a couple of breaths here. So option to lift the upper body and the lower body, or just lift upper or lower, your choice, whichever you prefer. When you're ready, take an inhale, lift through the chest, lift through the legs, or one or the other. Lengthen through the crown of the head, press your belly button towards your spine. Nice and engaged at the front of the body. And then slowly lower the body back down. You might like to stack the hands, bend the knees, sway the legs left and right. We're going to find Sphinx pose from here. So bringing the forearms onto the mat, tuck your elbows in against your rib cage. Lifting through the chest, lifting through the crown of the head. Again, engage the belly so that the lower back is active, but you're not feeling much tension there. So really abdominal engagement is key for all of these front lying ones. We want to strengthen our back, but we don't want to injure our back. Keep lifting and breathing just for 2 more breaths. And then we're pressing back to a child's pose, so just reaching the body back towards the heels. Take the knees wide, or take the knees together and wrap the arms down around the legs, coming to a little ball shape. That one can feel quite nice if we've been working the arms. Well done, everyone. Taking a few breaths there, nice and slow with the breath. And then slowly starting to lift your head, come back to kneeling while we spin our feet around to the side, and we'll come around to a seated posture. There's no rush, take your time. As we come to seated, you could reach for your blanket if you like that little help of the tilt in the pelvis. So you might like to bring the rolled up blanket just underneath the pelvis and then roll forward so that you're rolling off the blanket. Not really using it for the elevation, but more for the assistance in the tilt of the pelvis. So whether you're on the mat or on the blanket, we'll find Dandasana first. So flex through the feet, legs are nice and active, sitting up onto your sit bones. Maybe give a roll of the shoulders, maybe lengthening up through the crown of the head. Keep the belly engaged though, and gently bring the hands to the mat either side of your hips. We're not pressing into the hands, they're just resting beside us. The eyes can be open or closed here, but just noticing the activity in our body. Noticing how fast the heart is beating. Notice the quality of your breath now at this point of the class. We're starting to slow things down, but the body is still recovering from our little bit of activity in standing. The eyes can stay closed if you like. We're coming into our forward fold from here. So inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Take your hands down to your shins, your ankles, or maybe hooking for the big toes. Maybe if you want to engage the belly a little bit more, take an inhale, halfway lift, flattening the back. Press your belly button towards your spine, and then maybe deepening into that forward fold. A little bend in the knees if you need to. If you've got tight hamstrings, be careful of the shoulders. Try and keep them away from the ears. Try and lead your chin towards your feet if you're feeling like you're rounding through the spine. Chin towards the feet will just try to keep the back nice and flat. It'll try to help you to hinge more at the hips and trying to protect the lower back at all costs. Inhale, take the arms back overhead. Exhale, release the hands all the way down. We're going to take a bend into the knees and we'll let the knees open to the side. We're going to find Baddha Konasana. You can stay sitting on your blankets for this one as well. So bringing the soles of the feet together, we can have a nice wide diamond shape, or we can draw the heels in towards the sit bones. Maybe interlacing the fingers and bringing them around the feet to bring the soles of the feet more closely together. But if you want to move into the hips and the inner thighs a little more, I would suggest opening the soles of the feet like pages of a book, which will help to open the inner thighs a little bit more. Sitting up nice and tall, this might feel like enough of a hip opener, but if you want to add the forward fold, we take an inhale, we open through the chest, and we exhale, hinge forward, maybe bringing the elbows on the inside of the knees. And if it feels okay on the neck and the shoulders, you can let the head fall forward, rounding through the neck and through the spine. Slowly beginning to lift the head, extend through the chest again. Taking ourselves back up to sitting, release the hands from the feet, take the hands on the outside of the knees, draw the knees back up. And then from here, you guys are just going to slowly start to roll down onto your back. Just make sure you have enough space behind you as you roll down. As we come back onto the mat, just taking your heels in towards your sit bones. Keep about a little sliver of space between the thighs, let's say that. We're keeping the legs hip width apart. And we're taking a moment just to notice that we're pressing into the mat with the back of the pelvis. The sacrum is pressing into the mat. The rib cage is pressing into the mat. Keep your lower back lifted at the start and end of your bridge just to engage the belly muscles a little bit more. Still draw the belly button back towards the spine. The arms are long alongside you. The palms are facing down. Open through the shoulders a little more. Press your shoulder blades flat against the mat. And maybe a little lift of the head to lengthen through the back of the neck, your chin slightly tucking towards your chest. So we're coming into 2 rounds of bridge here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, tilt your pelvis, lower back touches the mat as we peel the body off the mat. Coming up to rest on your shoulder blades. Keeping our bridge in a lifted position. Just keep the breath flowing as you stay in the lifted position. Press the inner thighs towards each other. Press your kneecaps towards the front of the room. Still squeezing the glutes and lifting the hips nice and high. Keep pressing the belly button back towards the spine. Try and keep the rib cage pressing down towards your hips as well. Still opening through the chest and reaching those fingers towards your feet. Nice and active in our bridge. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, slowly bring the body back down, 1 vertebrae at a time, slowly coming back down. Once the pelvis is down, the lower back lifts. You could windshield wiper the knees if you like, or hug the knees into the chest for a little massage on the lower back. We're going to do one more round of bridge, coming back to that same version or taking it a little deeper, a little higher this time if you wish. When you're finished with your movement, bring the legs back to stillness in the center. Keep that little gap between the inner thighs. Legs are still hip width apart. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Keep the fingers reaching down towards your feet and pressing in once more with the pelvis and the rib cage against the mat. Take an inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, press into the feet, press into the heels and the heels of the hands, lifting up into bridge. Staying here and activating all those little cues again, the inner thighs, the fingers towards your feet. Or if you want to deepen it a little bit more, keeping the arms nice and long, but interlacing the fingers in underneath your lower back or underneath the sacrum. Keeping the arms on the mat, but walking the elbows towards the center of the mat, lifting through your chest, lifting through the pelvis, taking the front of the body towards the sky, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back of the body, opening through the chest, and then releasing the hands if we had them held. Slowly let the body come back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. When the pelvis comes down, the lower back lifts again, and take a moment for movement if you want to windshield wiper the knees or hug the knees into the chest. We're going to come to a supine twist to start to slow our body down a little bit. So when you're ready, after you've finished your movement, just starting to take the knees in towards the chest if they weren't there already. And then dropping the knees over to the right side, stacking knees on top of knees, ankles on top of ankles, or maybe wrapping your left leg around your right leg if you'd like a deeper twist there. The left shoulder presses back towards the mat, extend through the left arm, straight out from the shoulder, maybe turning the palm towards the sky. Right hand can be down onto the legs for a little bit of extra weight, or maybe extending the right arm straight out from the right shoulder as well. Gaze towards the sky or towards your left hand. Maybe closing down the eyes if that feels nice for the body. And as we start to slow down, maybe each time you exhale, you start to just let go a little bit more, release the body into this twist. Letting the body be nice and heavy against the mat. Slowly starting to bring the head back to center. Bring your knees back towards the center as well. Maybe hugging the knees into the chest or dropping the feet to the floor, and again windshield wipering the legs. And then if we had the feet on the floor, start to just draw the knees back in towards the chest once more, and then drop the legs over to the left. Knee on top of knee, ankle on top of ankle, or wrapping the right leg on top of the left this time. Bringing your right shoulder back to the mat, extending the right arm straight out from the shoulder. Left hand can come to rest on the legs or extending it out from your left shoulder. Gaze towards the sky or over your right hand. Closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable. Letting the body be heavy. Slowly start to take your head back to center, take your knees back to center. Last little opportunity for a bit of movement. If you want to hug the knees in or windshield wiper them. And then once you've had your little bit of movement, we're starting to find our closing Shavasana shape. whatever that shape looks like for you this evening. Whether it's just flat on the mat with the legs extended and reaching out towards the outer edges of your mat, the arms alongside you. Or maybe it's taking a Baddha Konasana with the legs, bringing the feet together and letting the knees open wide. The upper body might be flat against the mat, or we might be bringing a bolster or a block underneath the head, or even a blanket underneath the head. Or maybe we take the hands above the head and we let the elbows rest down, the shoulders rest down, just releasing any tension in the upper back. Whatever option and version you're taking this evening, making any last adjustments to how it's feeling now for your body, and then beginning to find your stillness of body once more, your Kaya Stharyam. And as we find that stillness, we'll start to relax our body. I'll take you through the guided relaxation, and then I'll leave you in stillness and silence for a few minutes. And we'll have time to come back then for our breath work and our meditation to finish off our practice this evening. So taking our attention down to our feet, relaxing the toes and the feet, the ankles, the shins and the calves. Relax the knees, the front and back of the thighs. Relaxing into the hips and the pelvis, allow the belly to be soft, release the lower back. Relax the ribs and the chest, the shoulders, maybe giving the shoulders one final roll, and the shoulder blades come a little further down our back. Releasing the upper arms, the lower arms. If the arms and hands are on the mat, maybe turning the palms face up, taking all the effort and energy out of our hands and our fingers and just letting those fingers curl inwards towards our palms. Relaxing the neck and up into the head. Relaxing the muscles of our face, our jaw, our tongue, maybe parting the teeth. Relaxing the muscles around the eyes. And lastly, the forehead, the seat of our mind. Here for the next few moments in stillness and silence, and I'll call you back with the sound of my voice. bodies. Gently wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. Moving the wrists and ankles, turning the head left and right. Bringing the feet together at the end of the mat. And with an inhale, drawing the arms overhead, giving a stretch from fingers all the way down to the toes. Exhale, relax and release. Allow the arms to come back down alongside the body. Begin to draw the knees in towards the chest. Give a little hug or squeeze or gentle roll on the lower back. And when you feel ready, rolling over to the right side, taking a little pause there. Taking your left hand to the mat in front of your face, extending through the left leg and pushing up to come up to find a comfortable seat. We'll be seated for the remainder of the class, so just making sure you're comfortable. If that means you're using a prop under the body, just finding whatever feels good, and the legs can be crossed, extended or on our knees. We're going to practice 5 rounds of Nadi Shodhana to balance our energy and balance our temperature in our body as we come back out of our stillness. So left hand is staying on the left knee. Have to think about that one. Right hand is the one doing the work, bringing the first 2 fingers to the base of the thumb or resting them on the third eye chakra. Our thumb and our ring finger are doing the alternative movements. In on the left for 5, out on the right for 5, back in on the right for 5, and back out on the left for 5. That's one cycle, and we'll do 5 rounds together. Whenever you're ready, bringing your right thumb to your right nostril. If it feels okay to close down the eyes or taking a gaze down towards your heart. Exhaling to prepare, and then inhaling on the left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last round. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let the right hand come back down to the right knee. And just let the breath return to its natural rhythm, keeping the eyes closed with that soft gaze down towards our heart. And the hands can be resting on the legs for the remainder of your time here, or resting them into your lap, or taking a mudra of your choice as you prefer. And before we move to our meditation, just taking a moment, this moment between our movement, our breath work and our meditation. Noticing how the body feels this evening as we round out our practice. Maybe you come back to notice any of those little areas of tension or discomfort that you had taken note of as you arrived earlier today. Noticing how they feel now this evening after your movement practice, after your breath work. Turning your attention to your breath as well, noticing how you're breathing as you end the class, comparing this to the breath that we arrived with. And ideally, the way we're breathing now towards the end of our practice is a breath that's very soft, very gentle. We're barely noticing the movement of our body. We're knowing that we're breathing, And we feel the air entering our body and exiting our body, but it's a very gentle, subtle breath. And keeping our attention on our breath, we're moving into our meditation this evening. So as we soften the body just a little more, we're staying sitting upright, but we just want to settle into our seat, keeping your awareness on each and every breath, watching and feeling into these soothing, calming, rhythmical rounds of breath. And with your eyes closed, begin to visualize the space that we're in this evening in your mind's eye. And imagine seeing yourself sitting in the room, so it's almost like you're looking at yourself from behind. You're seeing yourself sitting on your mat right here in this moment. And imagine that your elder self or your future self walks into the room and slowly moves towards you on your mat. Allow your own imagination to guide this journey. You might imagine that your future self sits down next to you, or you might embrace. Whatever comes and feels right is right for you right now. Notice how it feels to be in their loving, accepting presence. Feel into the sense of wisdom and compassion that they exude. Spend a few moments here, feeling their willingness to be with you and to exude love and kindness to you as you are right now. And then imagine looking them in the eye and asking for some guidance, or asking them a question of any kind. Allow a response to come. Ask whatever you like and however many questions you feel called to. And then when you've finished with your questions, imagine that they place their beautiful, warm hand over your heart space. Receive the love and connection into your heart. Notice if they want to say anything else before they leave. And then watch them walk back out of the space. And just allow yourself to come back to this present moment, staying here with your eyes closed just for a few more moments. And then gently, just to bring us last little bit further into our present moment, maybe bringing the thumb to touch each fingertip, or gently rubbing the hands on your thighs. The eyes can stay closed. Whenever you feel comfortable, just taking your hands to Anjali Mudra back at heart center. Once again, connecting your thumbs against your breastbone in front of your heart space. Maybe you still can feel the energy and love and compassion from your future self, where they place their hand at your heart center. Coming back to that same feeling in your body. And we'll close our practice this evening with an Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti, our word for peace. Always calling for peace for ourselves, peace for the world, and peace for those who cannot ask for it for themselves. If you're joining me, we're taking an inhale. Inhale. Shanti. 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 Allowing those vibrations to settle in our bodies. Slowly beginning to rub the hands together, creating heat with the friction. Bring the warm hands and gently cup them over the closed eyes. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, blink the eyes open into the warmth and darkness of your hands. Slowly release the hands back to heart center, either to Anjali Mudra or just resting the hands on the heart. And we'll slowly bow our head towards our hands and to the practice of yoga. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
I'm just going to press stop on the recording. There's no rush on you. We can be here for a few more minutes.